Hello and welcome to Nostalgic Nuggets. Today, we're going to lead the person behind this door on a journey toward today's nugget. Come this way.
Hello?
Lisa, come on out. Lisa, you may have thought you'd come to Australia to visit your mum and dad, but Lisa Miller, this is your nugget.
Come on in.
Come on, take a seat.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too. Wow, visit Gympie.
We're joined now from our London bureau by ABC correspondent Lisa Miller.
Lisa Miller reports.
Lisa Miller.
ABC's North America correspondent Lisa Miller.
Lisa Miller is in The Hague.
Lisa Miller joins us now from Hampstead, New York.
Lisa Miller.
Lisa Miller reports.
Lisa, you've been the bureau chief of the ABC in London since 2015. You were bureau chief in Washington from 2009, and until then, you worked in Canberra for the ABC. Would you please tell us about some of the challenges and rewards you've had in this job?
That makes me feel tired, Darryl, even listening to that. The challenges are meeting new people and travelling the world and being allowed into people's lives when sometimes they're at their most vulnerable. I think that's actually pretty special. The challenges, well, you know, they say with the media that you're overworked, underpaid, it's insanely stressful, and other than that, people hate you. So there are some downsides.
Yes. Lisa, you won a Walkley Award for your investigation of an Australian citizen deported to the Philippines due to a bureaucratic bungle, an accent, and a mental health condition. You also got to interview Fidel Castro because he liked an Australian swimmer and because of your terrible Manuel impersonation of a Spanish accent. How much luck is there in investigative journalism?
Well, there's a lot of luck, but there's a lot of persistence. I would say that just continuing to keep pushing through. I remember the Walkley Award winning story because I ended up having to sit outside a doctor's office, I think in Kingaroy or Nanango, for days waiting to try and get the information we needed to get. So it's persistence and just never giving up. With Fidel Castro, we chased him around Havana for a whole week before he stopped to talk to us, and it was because I said clearly, El Presidente! And he thought, who has that terrible Spanish accent? But he did stop and talk to us, but definitely persistence.
Lisa, I remember your dad, Clary Miller, with the brilliant, beaming smile. You always could trust the man, and he always made me feel confident in the Australian political system. What of his many exemplary traits do you value most in yourself?
Oh, thank you, Darryl. I think that's lovely of you to say that, and I do like to think that I've taken after Dad, perhaps in integrity, certainly confidence, sense of humour,
and beaming smile.
And the beaming smile, maybe. One of the best lessons Dad ever gave me, though, was to not let anyone else determine what kind of person I was going to be. And I've clung on to that a lot because I've been tried and tested by quite a few people over the years, but I've always remembered that I want to stay decent and true. Carry on the Miller name.
Fabulous.
It's all about expectation.
Visit Gympie.
Having worked for the ABC, you can understand the way the nuggets are made on a shoestring budget and on a wing and a prayer. How would you compare ABC News reporting to commercial news?
Well, the ABC takes foreign news really seriously, and we've got 11 bureaus around the world and dozens of people. What's really interesting is seeing what the commercials are doing as well, because now in London they've beefed up their staff as well, so they are a real competitor to us in London, and sometimes we'll be racing to an assignment somewhere and we'll all turn up at the airport at the same time because we're trying to beat each other. So we always think about money and how much anything is going to cost. So as soon as we say, let's go to Ireland to do a story about same-sex marriage, we say, how much is it going to cost? Like, it always comes into it, but the ABC's always treated it seriously.
Politics. President Bush publicly, as they say, out and about. Clearly a very sensitive. George Bush said that perhaps David Cameron wanted to know if it went any further. The day after, any further after all the criticism, if it went further than the one pretty strong, pretty volatile one night relationship.
Are they serious?
I don't know why you people do this to me.
Your first paid journalism job was at the Gympie Times as a cadet. What memories come first and foremost to your mind of the Gympie Times?
I didn't mean to get the job at the Gympie Times. I was doing some holiday work in my third year of university, and the cadet at the time there absolutely had a fit, threw a tantrum and stormed out, and the editor looked at me and said, "Do you want the job?" That's how I got my job at the Gympie Times. My very first story was about head lice in Gympie schools, and I was so disappointed because I said, for the rest of my life, people are going to say, what was the very first story you got published? And I would have to say it was about head lice in Gympie schools.
The French President Francois Hollande couldn't pass him on to the US, but here at Buckingham Palace, the Deputy Foreign Minister John McCain discovered Sweden. After that, the Queen in the opinion polls was the flavour of the month. So it has not been a good time.
Your first interview with a political figure, other than your dad, was while you were in Gympie, at Gympie High School. And although you went on to interview such great names as Fidel Castro, John Howard and Elvis Presley posthumously, your first interview was with a local councillor. Lisa, may I introduce to you Joan, the ex-mayor of Gympie City Council.
This is your life. Hello, Joan. It's lovely to see you. Come on to the couch.
Oh, yes.
Let me get rid of these cushions. We'll toss them over there. Do you know, one of the best things that I reckon happened in my time in Gympie was when Pizza Hut turned up. Were you mayor when Pizza Hut came along?
Honestly, I can't remember.
It was clearly a bigger deal for me than for you.
But obviously, because I had all those other things like turning Mary Street around, making it one way.
That's right. I remember there was always something going on with Mary Street.
Oh, I
Do people still talk about Mary
There's
Street?
the odd person that'll still come along and blame us for having the roundabout at the wrong end of the street or something like that. But hey, we did it for lots of reasons.
And I interviewed you in high school.
You certainly
Was I
did.
tough?
You were tough, and I was nervous.
All right, enough of this. It's not your show. Lisa, I believe that before you were in Gympie, you lived in Kilkivan.
Yes,
Can you remember really positive things about Kilkivan?
I can remember loads of positive things.
Can you
about
tell us
Kilkivan.
one?
The Kilkivan show.
Oh, yes.
It was fantastic. It used to seem to be so big, but now I imagine if I went back, I'd realise the showgrounds were pretty small.
Yeah, it's a fabulous thing.
And the Kilkivan State School.
Oh,
but
yes.
it only went to grade 10.
Yes,
so
yes.
people had to move on. But it was great. I loved Kilkivan.
And before Kilkivan, before you went to school, I understand that you were a bit of a singer and an interviewer. And you used to use a wooden spoon to sing the ABC News theme.
One of the ABC News themes, because they do have a few, you know.
Oh. Isn't
Which
that
one have
good?
you got?
I've probably got the one now. Which one was then?
I used to sing dun dun da da da.
That's the one. Have a spoon. Da 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 da
I always wanted to be on the ABC.
Lisa Miller, the European Bureau Chief for the ABC in London, the ex-North American Bureau Chief for the ABC, and a great export of Kilkivan and Gympie, and one of Gympie's nostalgic nuggets. Now we've got to walk past the camera. Come on. Fabulous.